Hey yo Prodigies, ProdCharles here, and in this video I'm going to share my analysis on the 20 new achievements for Bendy and the Ink Machine Chapter 3. Yes, TheMeatly has released a Steam page for Chapter 3, and included with this Steam page are the 20 new achievements that come along with the new game, and looking at these new achievements we can get some sort of clue of what we'd have to do in the next chapter, which is really exciting. I thought you'd be really interested in this, so let's get straight into it. The first that we can see here is one called Darker Places, and it's got an icon of an inky projector. So what this achievement might be for is to light up the area that Henry says is really dark in the release date trailer. Remember in the trailer that we heard a switch turn on that caused a flash of light and the release date appeared on the screen? Perhaps a similar thing happens in the game, except it just illuminates an entire room. The next achievement is Knick-knack Paddywhack, and it has an icon of a bone. Now there's a few things that I think this could be for. The first thing that seems the most obvious to me is watching Tombstone Picnic somehow in the game, because that features skeletons. We know for sure that that features skeletons. Another thing could be that we come across some coffins that have skeletons in them and we get jump scared by them, or we have to interact with them in some way. And the last thing that I thought about this achievement, which is a little bit of a stretch, is playing some kind of game with Boris the Wolf. As you know, canine creatures like bones, so this bone could be an indication that we play a minigame with Boris the Wolf, like kicking around bacon soup cans or something, causing this achievement to trigger. Something that a lot of prodigies have mentioned to me on different social medias and on YouTube are the footstep sounds that I talk about in the release date trailer. A lot of them are saying that these could be bones or bags of bones or something to do with bones, and this achievement could be related to that, but since I really do not have any evidence whatsoever of that, and it honestly doesn't sound like bones clanging together, I'm not going to discount it, but I want to include it because it has been so rigorously suggested to me by the prodigies. The next one is Blazing Metal, and this one is actually really exciting. It actually hints towards us using a gun. We can see the icon there has two pictures of a bullet, so two bullets. Does this actually mean we get access to a real gun? Perhaps it's a big hype thing and we get access to a cork gun or an ink gun, or maybe we just interact with a gun ornament that allows us to solve some kind of puzzle, but I think this is a super interesting achievement. It could also just hint to something else shooting around in the studio, or because there's so much machinery around, it could be an indication that something gets really hot. The bullets to me indicate that there will be some kind of movement, so perhaps whatever gets hot will end up ricocheting around the studio. For those of you who've seen my release date trailer analysis video, the next two achievements, which I want to cover together because they're so closely related, might not be too much of a surprise to you actually. So the first one has an icon of what looks like a demon head, and it's called the Path of the Demon. The next one is an icon of a halo, and it's called the Path of the Angel. And in my release date analysis, I said that there could be a Bendy amusement park and there could be an Alice Angel amusement park. Both tourist attractions there to satisfy people who liked Bendy and to satisfy people who liked Alice Angel. So of course, if you complete the Bendy side, you'd get the Path of the Demon. If you complete the Alice Angel path, you get the Path of the Angel. What I didn't mention in that video is that these achievements could also hint towards something else, and that is, because Alice Angel has the features of a devil with the horns and a halo, and that's confirmed by the statue that we see in the release date trailer, these achievements might indicate a choose your own adventure style path, where Alice Angel actually becomes evil on the Path of the Demon, or Alice Angel actually helps you out on the Path of the Angel. So it might not be an indication of Henry's progress through the game, but it might be an indication of how Alice Angel interacts with Henry in the game. Very, very interesting. Do let me know what you think about those two. The next one is Turn It Up. It's got a picture of a radio receiver there. This looks like another one of those achievements where you have to turn on one of the receivers and listen to music for a short while, kind of like in Crooner Tuna and Coast to Coast, I believe those achievements were called, where we heard Kyle Allen's and DA Games fan songs. If not for a similar purpose, I think that because there's so many hints towards a stealth-like gameplay in the next chapter, this might hint towards using sound as a distraction for whatever enemy we come across. Norman's Fate is also an interesting one. It's got an icon of a projector. It is not blacked out this time, and we do remember that Norman Polk did own a projector in chapter 2. He was a band conductor. He would turn on a projector and his band would start swinging to whatever would play on the screen. So the fact that this icon is a projector could just be an indication that we are talking about Norman here. The projector could be Norman's icon, the thing that symbolizes Norman. Because we've had clues that there could be humans in the cartoon world, such as in the Tombstone Picnic cartoon that we see in the reveal trailer, Norman's fate might actually indicate that Norman was turned into a cartoon and trapped in one of the cartoons. And given all the hints for Little Devil Darling so far, I wouldn't be surprised if he was trapped in that cartoon. To date, we've only seen a human in Tombstone Picnic, so it could be that one too. Next up is Inner Child. It has an icon of a Bendy doll, which suggests to me that this achievement is there for collecting a Bendy doll or for playing with a Bendy doll. Perhaps we even get to hand somebody a Bendy doll. You might remember at the end of chapter 2 that when we enter the S3 vault, before coming across Boris the Wolf, we can see shelves lined with Bendy dolls. So it could have to do with that. It might have to do with replacing Bendy dolls, but it's pretty clear that this particular achievement looks like some kind of collectible achievement. The next achievement is another bacon achievement. It's got an icon of bacon and it says bring home the bacon. Now what instantly comes to mind for me is at the end of chapter 2 when we saw Boris the Wolf come out, he rolled a can of bacon soup along the floor before he emerged. So maybe we pick up that bacon soup can and hand it to Boris, or maybe we get to pick up bacon soup cans to hand to Boris or to put on a shelf or something of that nature that triggers this achievement. It's also interesting to note that there are 2 bacon achievements. There's one that says a taste of home at the bottom as well. So perhaps there's one bacon achievement for each path of the devil and the angel path, or maybe you get rewarded for consuming bacon soup at different parts of the game, and heck, maybe you even get to actually eat bacon at some point. Again, another one of those hidden collectible sort of achievements. Next is Long Forgotten Self. This is a really interesting one. It seems to be an icon of a person standing in a puddle of ink. Now, a few things that this could be for is Henry himself standing in a puddle of ink, but this is really nothing new. We've done this a lot in chapter 2 when wading through the ink puddles to get between the music departments and when we listened to Samuel Lawrence's first recording. It could also be an achievement for listening to some kind of dialogue or some sort of audio cassette that tells us something about one of the characters that were turned into an inky form, or maybe even transformed into a cartoon, who knows? It depends on how the theories roll. Whether that's for Samuel Lawrence or Norman Polk or Joey Drew, we'll just have to find out. Given the evidence that we've seen so far, it would probably be equally possible for all 3 because we've seen so much complaining about Joey Drew going somewhat nuts about these rituals, even though his cartoons aren't getting done on time. Samuel Lawrence is also the only character that we've come across that we've seen in an inky form who wanted to return to their original body. And in the Hot Topic Samuel Lawrence promotion, we learn a lot about Samuel Lawrence. He's got quite a bit of an ego and he misses his old body a lot. So that's what that could be for. The last thing on my mind for this particular achievement is that it could be referring to whatever Norman's fate is, but he's already got an achievement for that. So let's just let him go. I still don't want to discount him though because there's still that possibility. Next up is Ultimate Stomachache. This one looks like the kind of achievement where you'd have to collect all of the bacon soup cans and eat them up. The icon looks like a picture of a stomach. I'm not quite sure what that is, but I'm sure no matter how good bacon soup is 30 years after not eating it, you would get a stomach ache from eating so much of it. And if there are other food items like bacon strips themselves, that might be something extra that we need to get to fulfill this achievement, and the other 2 bacon achievements could be for drinking all the bacon soup. Next up is Frontlines. It's got an icon of what looks like a zombie. I guess this is a cartoony form of a new enemy that we come across or a new searcher that we come across. Same difference really. Because of the way the achievement's worded, it's a little bit strange. It kind of aligns with the bullet icon achievement, Blazing Metal, that we saw earlier. So maybe Frontlines has something to do with shooting down enemies or cutting them down. It could be some kind of zombie apocalypse mayhem achievement where we have to kill a whole bunch of enemies. Or maybe it's for beating a boss. Who knows? This could be a new boss. Maybe this is Norman Polk in an inky form. Who knows? Next up is Anger Management. It's got a picture of a Bendy head with a lightning bolt shaped split in the middle of it. I'm going to guess that this has something to do with making Bendy angry, because it sounds like we might get a projectile weapon. Perhaps shooting him from afar will make him angry. Perhaps fulfilling some part of the game would make him angry. Perhaps when naturally progressing through the game, we do something that makes him angry, such as shut a door in front of his face again or hide away from him. If Ink Bendy truly is free roaming in chapter 3, then perhaps this achievement triggers if you successfully hide from him in the Little Miracle stations over and over and over again. Again, another really interesting achievement here. Feeling the Pressure. Feeling the Pressure looks like it's got a whole bunch of little pumps in the icon, and this immediately makes me think of fixing machinery. We heard a lot of steam and machinery turning around in the release date trailer, so perhaps we need to regulate the pressure of some kind of liquid or gas, such as ink, or whatever might be driving the pistons that we can hear in the background in the release date trailer, if they are pistons. If the plunger teaser truly is a plunger, then maybe this relates to actually using the plunger to fix the ink pipes. Or speaking of the ink pipes, perhaps fixing them altogether. Remember that Wally Frank said that the pipes might be bursting, so we might feel the pressure of pipes bursting in the studio, and that would be annoying, unless it's for a cutscene, in which case, all good. But if it is for a cutscene, then it might actually be pretty scary, to be honest. The next achievement is Spare Parts. The icon is a gear, and if we can remember in chapter 1, one of the offerings provided to fix the ink machine is a gear. So perhaps perhaps we find extra gears around the studio to help fix a second ink machine or just fix a machine altogether. We've got Boris the Wolf and the infamous wrench to help us out, so it could have something to do with that. Again, another fixing / collection achievement. Next up is a trio of similar achievements: hearing voices, old problems, and the past speaks. These are all audio cassette recordings, and this is really strange because I don't think we've gotten an achievement for listening to an audio cassette recording before, so perhaps we have to find secret recordings to learn more about the game. Kind of like how 8% of people didn't listen to the DA Games cameo in Chapter 2. It might just be a hidden or completely insight item that we can interact with, but most people would probably pass up by accident, or just not notice. The last one is tea time, and it has me stumped, honestly. Could this be a hint that we have some kind of tea time with Alice Angel? There is a good side to Alice Angel. Do we have tea time with Boris the Wolf? Does tea time refer to the picnic that they have in Tombstone Picnic? So if you watch Tombstone Picnic in Chapter 3, this event will trigger. In that case, what happens in the Knick-knack Paddywhack achievement? Maybe that one is used for the Little Devil Darling, or Bendy and Sheep songs, or whatever other animation there might be. But I do think that if we get to look at cartoons, there will be at least one achievement for viewing one of these cartoons in-game. And this tea time achievement, to me, feels like it could be that kind of achievement. Otherwise, maybe it's just having lunch with Boris the Wolf or Alice Angel or something. Or maybe that creepy human that walks around the studio. What do you think? I think you should check out these videos that were picked just for you. Take a look and get hooked, and remember to tap my face to subscribe and tap that bell for more cool and interesting horror game videos. And prodigies, I hope that these videos help you to expand on how you think, so it helps with your thinking in your daily lives. See ya!